welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun in Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic lots of Toyotas are with Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyler. Joining me yet again on another awesome episode of the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast is Mr. Jimmy Snail Trail Jet. Mr. Jimmy Jet, how are you, man?
I am doing better. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
I'm getting a food coma over here.
Uh-oh.
So
we should never eat lunch before we record a podcast.
that never happens. We never do that.
No.
You want to know something fun?
I do.
I got a sunburn on my leg
Congratulations.
from welding.
That's funny.
Welding in shorts.
Yeah.
No better time.
My sunburn from the holidays is turning into a really good tan, and the
Nice.
assistant is pissed.
Because she doesn't. Hers is not.
Hers didn't turn into a tan.
No. That's funny.
Bummer on her.
Wah. Wah. Call the ambulance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, this episode is a Monday episode.
Yes, it is.
So we get to talk about some fun topics. And I think today on the docket, we're going to be talking about how Rubithon was and the whole weekend there out on the Rubicon Trail with the Toyota Land Cruiser Association.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that in a little bit here. First, we have the giveaway for the month of September, which is some gear wrench tools. And those are what, Jimmy?
We've got the bolt biter sets. There's the 1/4-inch drive and a 3/8 drive.
3-inch drive. Wow.
3-inch, yeah. Set. I think it goes from 1/4-inch to 19 millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the screw extractor set,
Mm-hmm.
the 10-piece screw extractor set, so that you can get all those broken screws out, which I've actually used that set before.
I have too. Yeah.
It's really nice. And then we have the 33-piece ratcheting T-handle set that has all kinds of bits, like hex heads to Phillips heads to flatheads to square
Torx.
drive, Torx, all the above.
Yep. Yeah, some pretty cool stuff there. Fun little kits for a lucky wiener
Yeah.
at the end of September. In order to get signed up for that, just go over to irate4x4.com and go down to the Snail Trail 4x4 forum. And then your sign-up options, should you choose to accept them, will be over on the right-hand side if you're on a computer, a desktop device. And if you're on a mobile device, they'll be down at the bottom of the page.
Absolutely.
So we got that. Let's see. Coming up in October, we have the gift boxes. They'll be shipping out here, I believe. We're going to be all set, ready to go.
Yeah. I need to get box sizes done. And
What size is your box?
I don't know. I need to figure it out with all the stuff we've got to shove in that box.
Okay. Good stuff. And yeah, so I think we're going to get gift boxes out like the last week of September here.
I hope so.
Yeah, it should be
We'll
pretty
see. That's our goal, at least.
good. Mm-hmm.
If somebody can etch some items,
Yeah. Jimmy?
me.
Yeah,
I'm
you?
talking about
Okay.
me.
I was like, I'm working on mine right now.
I know.
So, yeah, gift boxes are going out. So during October, though, we open up the gift box tier for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
super exciting.
October 1st through the 31st, the tier will be open for you guys to get in on, to move into, to move up to move out of, to do an annual subscription with, whatever you're looking to do there. All 3 tiers will be open for the month of October. And again, you can find those over at irate4x4.com. And along with that, we're going to be shutting down Patreon.
Yes, we are.
So we're shutting it down. We're not going to deal with their time frames anymore.
No, we're not.
If you're over on Patreon and signed up for a tier of some kind, then expect that to go away here during the month of October, and you'll need to move over to irate or just don't sign up.
Yep.
Either way.
Whatever.
So,
Yeah, I have sent everybody on Patreon. I've sent you messages via Patreon.
mhm.
Probably here near the start of the month, end of the month, I'll send emails to your email letting you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And maybe a detailed walkthrough on how to sign up on irate if you choose to.
Yep.
I do also want to say that I believe we already have an item in for the up next gift box.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So we're already ahead of the game there.
Yes, we are. Yep. So again, make sure you guys get over there. My guess is that all the people left on Patreon don't realize that they're still on there. So like we should probably turn it off anyways.
Yeah.
So man, let's see. What else do we got? What else? Anything? We did all the FNGs and the birthdays last Thursday.
Yes, we did.
Any fun trips coming up?
Well, today you and I are down in Big Bear.
Oh, that's true. After a weekend out at Barrett Lake, I'm turning around and going down to Big Bear right away.
Yeah.
So we're going to be down there through Wednesday.
Yeah, we are. We're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Show up on Monday, leave on Wednesday at some time. And yeah, we're going down. What is it called? It was an Overland Summit?
An Overland Media Summit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same idea and concept as what SEMA started as, which is to bring vendors and media together.
Yes.
But they're doing it on a much smaller scale in an interactive and experiential environment.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So they're taking media and vendors out to go camping and wheeling in Big Bear for a few days. And it gives a really cool opportunity for vendors and media to sit down and talk to each other about products, about stuff coming up, about different ways to do things. And should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be interesting. I think we'll have 1 to 2, maybe 3 podcasts coming out from that. We'll see how things go. I mean, this is this the first one they've ever done?
Second one.
Yep.
First one at Big Bear.
Yeah. Got it. And this is our first time attending, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Should be a lot of fun. And so I'm going to be there as kind of both media and vendor. Technically, I'm supposed to be a vendor, though, but we'll see.
But you're bringing an employee.
I am bringing an employee to
fill
kind
that
of
void.
Exactly. So I'll be able to jump back and forth.
Yep. And on the media side, it's kind of fun because they just want me to bring a duffel bag of clothes. And then for the most part, I think they're fulfilling all the other requirements for me. Yeah,
they're doing a lot of work to taking care of media and making you guys be like VIPs.
Yeah.
So you get to stay in a shift pod.
Yeah, or something else. I think there's more than there was 2 options.
But
I think definitely, I know Shift Pod was one of them. I forgot what the other thing was.
Well, Lance Campers is the other kind of sleeping vendor there. Shift Pod and Lance.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what I end up in.
That'd be fun. We'll get you guys some updates on how that goes after next week. Well, like Jimmy said, we'll get some episodes for you guys.
Yep.
A lot of cool vendors are going to be out there. A lot of cool media outlets are going to be out there too. So we might be able to do some cross promotions with another media outlets.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know another podcast is going to be down there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is it our Toyota friends?
No, it's our Nissan friends. Yeah.
They're not Toyota anymore.
Nope, not Toyota anymore. Maybe one of them still has a Toyota.
Maybe.
It starts with, Trey and ends with Churs.
Tracers.
Something like
Perfect.
that.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to try to meet up with them and say hi and hang out for an evening. I know that one of them or both of them or all of them have to leave a little early.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how we can go, but it would be fun to hang out with them a little bit and say hi. We haven't seen them in like over a year since the debauchery episode on King of the Hammers.
Yes.
So, this one might be a little bit more tame.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be fun. And then nothing really else on the docket. I had to get special permission to go to that event because I really am on crunch time and trying to get the houses done and move in and pack and everything going on. So big moving day at the end of this month. September 30th, October 1st is our game plan for moving.
Yeah.
And then, we just got to clean everything up and get it all moved over. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, I can start working on Samantha.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
I'm going out to Trail Hero.
Oh, good.
Yep. I'm going to be flying.
Oh.
So I'll fly into Vegas. And apparently there's a shuttle that goes from Vegas to St. George.
Okay.
So I'll take that shuttle over.
Yeah.
And I'll be there. I think I'm going to be there Tuesday through Friday morning.
Cool.
So I think that's my plan.
Are you just going as a vendor because you're not bringing a rig?
Yep. Yeah, just a vendor, and I'll ride passenger right seat with some people, go on a couple trails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, so I'll be out there. The Morphlate booth will be out there. So it'll be Ozzy and I at the Morphlate booths. Come by and say hi and check things out. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we know that Verde is going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I believe Hustle Nuts is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's his game plan to, I believe, get his rig done by. Is then
we'll see. I don't think he's going to get it.
I don't know. So we'll see. I believe my buddy Red Rock Crawlers, Jensen's going to be there. So
nice.
That'll be fun. And I know, that one dude should be down there. So yeah, there's a good handful of people that are going to be around.
Nice. Yeah, cool, man. I don't know. I think that's about it. That's that's good enough.
Yep.
There's more stuff coming in October, but we can wait until we get there.
Sounds good. Well, I want to hear the story of Rubithon.
There's a lot of stories from Rubithon.
Sure there are. You gave us the updates of the final things that you had to do with Kermit on Thursday's episode, and then told us a wee bit about driving in at a leisurely pace that was an hour faster than mine. But why don't you start at the Tahoma, or maybe start out driving up to Tahoma, wherever you kind of want. But tell us about the trail.
Well, I'll start there after we get back from the quick break with Brian. And so everybody can get a chance to grab their favorite drinks and snacks and nachos. And apparently there's a difference between Mexican spice and Asian spice that you guys can talk about later on another podcast.
Do you want to put a Super Duty axle under a 4Runner?
Right. We'll be right back with today's campfire discussion, all about Rubicon.
We've designed and engineered the fitment, durability, predictability, and drivability for just about any axle you want to put under a Toyota off-road vehicle. Start your adventure with our suspension builder page over at fourwheelunderground.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's campfire discussion is about the Toyota Land Cruiser Association's 35th anniversary of the Rubithon event, which is a really fun event that the Toyota TLCA has been doing for 35 years. And it's been on the Rubicon, on the Rubicon for 35 years. So this is, what is this, 2023? So that was 1988 was the first year. No, that's right, because I was born in 88. I'm 35 years old. So
there you go.
Yeah, wow. 1988 was when they started this event.
Wow, cool.
Yep. And this year was kind of special. It was 35th anniversary.
Yep.
And it's one of the first years that's gone on without Marlin in a very long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yep. So Marlin Chakowski passed away earlier this year. We've talked a little bit about it. And so they did a big nod to Marlin
cool.
with the event logo this year.
Oh, yeah.
So the Rubithon logo this year was Marlin's truck and him in the truck coming down some obstacles. So all the logos, T-shirts, committee magnets, everything, the stickers had Marlin on them.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That's really cool of them.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then they did 2 different raffles this year.
Okay.
And one of the raffles was like a bag raffle, right? So there's a select number of prizes with a bag or a box in front of them. You put your ticket into that.
Okay.
And to win that prize, right?
Yeah.
And
so you can kind of choose to win a specific prize if you wanted.
Yep. And so all the proceeds from the bag raffle go back to the Chakowski family in order to help pay for the memorial that's going on at the Clovis Fairgrounds next year.
July 1st or June 1st? It was one of those. Yeah.
And so, to help pay for all that. And so I got to donate a couple wood burnings.
Okay.
Some laser designs with the Rubithon logo on them. One of them was a cutting board, a bamboo cutting board.
Okay.
And then another one was a round of walnut. And then, and those both had the Rubithon logo. And then I did a third round that was from the Big Sluice decision tree.
Oh, yeah.
With the Rubicon Trail on it, burned into it, and the Marlin logo at the bottom with the letter of authenticity that you and I signed on the back.
Nice.
So, those all together, those raised over $2,900.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool
That's awesome.
To be able to make that happen for the Chakowskis and get some cash back in their pockets in their pockets.
Yes.
For this big celebration of life that they're going to be doing, that there's going to be a fuck ton of people at.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I figured I should call ahead now and make my reservations for like a hotel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that or stay at your dad's house, one or the other.
One or the other, yeah. If I saw you, it wouldn't be too bad.
Nope, not terrible. Yeah. So did Moreflate donate anything to the raffle?
Yeah, Moreflate had a couple gift certificates, a kit, and a PSI Pro compressor as well. So, yep.
And then Snail Trail donated some gear wrench tools, as well. So some bolt biters and other bolt biters. I think some multiple versions of bolt biters.
Yeah, different types of the bolt biter series tools.
So cool.
Yeah, excellent. So the raffle was fun. It was a good time. I wasn't at the raffle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you want to jump in there or do you want to start?
No, we'll get in there later. But
Okay.
let's see. So getting to the event was stressful for me.
Yes.
I got the rig back on Sunday night from Ori from being built, and I had to redo all the electronics.
Yep.
So I had to, in order to get the rig up and running, I think we talked about this on a previous episode, I had to get the starter going, the battery wired in, the main engine harness, and the welder all wired, and then the lockers.
Yeah.
In order to get the lockers in, I had to wire in my switch panel because those are wired through the switch panel. So I had to get those 5 things up and running, figure out how to do that. And I got all that done. I started Monday afternoon because Monday was Labor Day.
Yes.
Monday was Labor Day and I had some stuff going on. And so I started Monday afternoon and then worked Tuesday and Wednesday on it.
And only partial day on Tuesday because we recorded.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I got as much work as I could done. I got those 5 things up and running and functional, which was awesome. And I got my drive shafts installed around 2 p.m. on Thursday.
Yes.
So we talked about that on the past episode, how that story was and what happened there, which means that I was not available to go and help lead the 4Runner mini truck run on Thursday.
Correct. Yep. Uh-huh.
And that run goes from Loon Lake, the Loon Lake Spillway, all the way to the Springs in one day on Thursday, which is kind of fun because then Friday you get to hang out in the Springs and Saturday you get to hang out in the Springs and Sunday you go out Cadillac or come back out Loon, whichever one you want. So you get 2 days in the Springs, do whatever you want at the event, which is a lot of fun to kind of walk around and socialize with people that you haven't seen in a year. And,
yeah. There was a lot of really cool people that were on the 4Runner mini truck run this year.
Yeah.
So I was bumming that I wasn't there and hanging out with everybody.
Yeah. I was too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few listeners on that run. We're looking forward to going wheeling with us, and neither of us ended up being able to show up for the run.
No, I'm sorry.
So, yeah, anyways, I got my drive shafts on, put the rig up on the trailer, and towed it up to Tahoma, the Tahoe side of the trail, and came down Cadallic. And that was fun.
Okay.
Yeah. I aired down to about 5-6 PSI and started in on the trail and kind of took things really slow because I didn't know what to expect from the suspension, from the axles, if things are really going to work or not. And within about 15 minutes, I was like, this feels great. And so I sped up and picked up a much faster pace.
Cool.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of mud puddles between Tahoma and Observation right now.
There are, yeah.
So I slowed down for every single mud puddle. I was like, I don't want to get mud all over the place. And with the tires sticking out fully outside the body pretty much.
Yes.
I don't want to get the whole body covered in mud for the event. And just getting mud everywhere is not in my forte. It's not what I like to do.
Okay, yeah.
So I took it as slow as I could through the mud puddles and still absolutely covered the freaking 4Runner in mud.
Yes. I think I called you this morning and I was like, why is it so loud? You're like, I'm rinsing off the 4Runner.
Yeah.
And it's still dirty,
It's
by the way.
still super dirty. I've got to clean it and wipe it all off. But I did that and then got to Observation. I was trying to make it to Observation before sunset was over and just missed it by like 10 minutes.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. But I got a picture at Observation in the dark and then headed down Cadallic and got down Cadallic, got into camp.
Okay.
So.
Did you camp in the same area as we did last year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
A little further back, but yeah, up near the helipads there.
Yep.
Coming down though was fun. It was interesting because with the Leaf Springs, that trip used to take me 2 to 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it took me.
Yeah. And this time it took me 1 hour and 10 minutes.
I know. I can't believe that. That is so much faster.
So it took me 52 minutes to get from Tahoma to Observation. And that was, I think I stopped one time to get my APRS up and running for 5-10 minutes. And then I slowed down for all the mud puddles. So I think if I really wanted to, I could make that trip in 35 to 40 minutes.
Wow.
And then from Observation down to, the big granite slab you have to climb up, coming up Cadallic right before the hairpin.
Yes.
I made it from Observation to the bottom of that slab in 18 minutes.
Dang.
Right?
That's impressive.
Yeah. So, and it didn't feel like I was rushing at all. It didn't feel like I was pushing the rig very hard at all. It felt everything was nice and smooth and it felt like I was just cruising at a very comfortable pace for the vehicle.
Awesome.
Yeah. So very, very happy. That was my first taste of the axles and suspension.
Right. That four-wheel undergrounds kit was just absorbing everything.
Yes, it was.
That's awesome.
It was really, really nice. And then I would just hit my wheels on everything.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how wide the rig is now.
Learning curve.
Yes. So yeah, I got down to the Springs about 8:30 at night.
Okay.
In total. So 8 to 8:30, right around there, set up camp. And immediately everybody in our camp came over and was asking questions and had flashlights out to look over the rig and check out how everything turned out. So one thing that I've decided I'm going to do, and I've already partially done, is I'm not going to paint anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the axles, the suspension, all of those components pretty much framed down. I'm not going to paint.
But they're going to rust.
I'm going to clear coat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the look of the raw metal and all the welds on all the brackets from Brian and all the welds that Ori and Alex did on the custom frame. Everything just looks beautiful. It looks like a work of art when it's not dirty. Okay. You got to imagine it and without all the dirt on it, Jimmy.
Okay. I think I can do that.
The Forerunner is sitting right here next to us. So we're looking at it. So I'm going to clear coat everything.
Cool. Have you done that yet?
I did one coat of clear coat Wednesday night.
Okay.
So I had some
And
extra
then you
time.
went and got it dirty.
And then I went and got it dirty.
Now you have to clean it and do another coat of clear coat.
Unless I want to clear coat the dirt on there.
No.
No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, so I need to clean it all, wipe it all down, scrub it all clean, and then I want to do at least 2 more layers of clear coat.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so that way, it'll be everything. You get to look at everybody's craftsmanship that went into this. So, yeah. So I'm going to keep it that way.
I thought you were going to say you were going to make a list of everything that you had to do to get this thing ready. Like what makes the axles? What's the suspension kit? How are things made up?
Mm-hmm.
You know, who did what?
Yeah.
And then whenever anybody asks you could just hand them this paper.
Yeah, hand them the paper. I'll hand it on an RFID business card chip or something.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Scan it on their phone.
Scan this and read all about it.
Yep.
I'm tired of talking about it.
Yeah. It's going to get to that point. I'm still not tired of talking about it yet, but it will, I think, eventually get there. So finally, I got to say hi to everybody and went to bed around, I don't know, it was probably 10:30, 11.
Did you bring the T3?
Yeah. Okay. I brought the Gazelle T3.
Does it fit inside now?
It does. It fits in. I mean, it fits inside before, but I had to always put it sideways. So it fit perfectly between the rear windows.
Okay.
Now that I had the seat down where the fridge was sitting, I put it kind of like right there and it's kind of stuck out behind the fridge.
Okay, cool.
In the seat. But it worked really well. Got the T3 up and set up my bed. Everything was good to go. Went to bed. And with intentions of the next morning, Friday, taking some people out to the RTF loop.
Yeah.
The Granite Loop.
Yeah.
And
I remember you talking about that.
Yep. And so woke up in the morning and we had a lazy, longer morning on Friday than anticipated.
Okay. That usually happens out there at the Springs.
Yep. Power Tank made breakfast on Friday morning. So there was potatoes and eggs and then coffee and other stuff. So
speaking of coffee.
Yeah.
Little bird walk here.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered more and just opened a new bag of the Difflock coffee. The
Beadlock coffee?
Beadlock coffee.
Yeah.
The Difflock style.
Yeah.
Or what do you want? Model type of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good stuff.
They do.
I ordered 2 of theirs, both of them light roasts, and I'm excited to finish this one and try the next one to see which one I kind of like.
Okay. Nice.
But anyways.
Yeah, I'm working my way through a bag of them right now. One of the Beadlock coffees. Yeah, that we got at Expo, PNW Expo. They were in the Ironman booth.
I ordered one bag from them while we were there, and I finished that, and then I cried a little, and then I went out and bought some generic coffee from the grocery store. I was like, this sucks.
This is not good.
And I went online and I bought some more from them offline.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have some good coffee.
They really do.
Beadlock coffee is some really good stuff. If you guys ever see it around, you should grab a bag.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Continue on. Lazy morning. You ate breakfast with Power Tank.
Yeah. So everybody was there. Everybody. We had Scott from last year, our fearless trail lead.
Yes.
And he got us gifts.
Yeah.
He got all the trail crew gifts.
I saw a picture of this on Instagram.
Yes. So he got us all Hawaiian shirts with our vehicles, pictures of our vehicles printed on the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It was so cool. They are the shittiest quality shirts you could ever imagine.
Perfect for the trail.
But they were fantastic. They're hilarious. They're like
awesome.
a 2-time use t-shirt.
Are they t-shirts or are they button-ups?
They're button-ups.
Okay.
But like all the seams are terrible and they just fall apart.
Oh,
Like
wow.
by the end of the day coming in Thursday, Scott's were all ripped open down the sides. It looked like he was wearing a muscle shirt.
That's funny.
And then mine
looked great though.
They look fantastic. They're just terrible quality,
Oh,
but
bummer.
they're hilarious. So anyways, shout out to Scott for getting us all those shirts. And we were the talk of the town because we went to the committee meeting all wearing our shirts. And so everybody was laughing at us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How fun.
So anyways, Friday, we had Scott there. Dan was there, who came in his Jeep. Dimitri and Rob were there.
Oh, good.
They brought the 200 Series Land Cruiser.
Yeah,
the
that's
corporate
awesome.
cruiser. It had no issues getting through the trail.
Yeah, I don't know why it would. That thing's built so well.
They did a great job with all the Tundra stuff on it and the 37s, and it's built really well. So it made it through the trail just fine. Got a tiny little bit of body damage, but that was it.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rim was there.
Yes, he was.
He was out in his FJ80, the white whale. And
Okay.
then Delta Dave came out.
I know. I'm so sad I missed
I
Delta
know.
Dave. Oh, man.
Yeah, Dave's a lot of fun.
He is.
He takes a while to get him to open up and start figuring out his personality and his sense of humor.
Yeah, either one, warm him up,
Yeah.
or two, learn his humor.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But as soon as you get whatever that combo is,
Uh-huh.
he's absolutely hilarious.
Yes. So this was kind of I don't want to say the first trip. I feel like he started opening up around me at Expo,
Okay.
but this trip was absolutely hilarious. I love hanging out with the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyways, Delta Dave was there. He had the Cummins FJ80
Yeah.
with him.
A
4BT, I believe.
is it? I thought it was a 3-cylinder.
Yeah. I thought it was the 4BT. I
I
don't know.
think so.
Okay. He had a Cummins
Yes.
in there. And he's done a Cummins swap on his FJ80. Let's see. Nick was there.
Yes.
And
And his wife.
his wife Lisa.
And they drove their green
FJ80.
FJ80 in
Mm-hmm.
with all the relentless fab bumpers and everything. Yeah.
Yep. Power Tank Steve and Tyler was there with
Cool.
Tyler's brother Tanner
I don't
and
know if
Steve's.
I've ever met him.
Tanner apparently does not come out to off-roading events ever.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not as much into the off-roading as Steve and Tyler
Does he
are.
work at Power Tank?
He does.
Okay.
He's one of the sales guys apparently.
Well, then maybe I have met him.
Yeah. Tanner was there, and then one of Steve's longest friends, Ken, was there, who has a first-gen 4Runner.
Is it a red one?
Nope.
Oh,
Tan. Yeah.
because wasn't Steve's longtime friend the guy that bought his old 4Runner too?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah,
He was
okay.
one of their first customers, actually.
Yeah.
Scott McCreary? Scott McCreary? Scott, I don't remember his last name.
Something like that.
Yeah. So he was not
Okay.
there this year. Let's see. Who else? Nick was there in the 4th-gen 4Runner. The solid
Okay.
axled 4th-gen 4Runner that used to belong to Rancho Toyota Recycling.
Yes.
Those guys. He was there.
Was the gentleman who broke the axle last year?
Senna. Senna was there. Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep. And his GX had no problems this year.
Sweet.
None whatsoever.
Good.
Yeah, he did a great job this year. Yeah. We'll get to Senna in a little bit. What he had to deal with. Let's see. Who else was in our group of trail crew people? I think that was it. And then the rest of the group was the participants.
Yeah.
And we had a few listeners in those groups. So Jeb, hello. Shout out to Jeb.
Hey, Jeb.
He has I think it's a 1st-gen pickup. No, he has a 2nd-gen pickup. His dad, I think, or his uncle, his dad, I think, has the 1st-gen pickup.
Cool. Nice.
They run a fab shop. So they're highly skilled mechanics,
Nice.
and they got to put their skills to use.
Okay.
Coming in, there was an FJ80 that blew up its front high pinion,
Oh,
8-inch high pinion.
I received a phone call about this.
You did, yes. And so I got Ross Woody reached out to me on my way up to ask if I could find a source for 88 gear sets for a high pinion. And I was like, I'll see what I can do. So I called you and I was like, you only have 529s.
I do.
Ryan's is 529s. And then I called Morgan at Sidetracked Offroad. He didn't have any 488s in stock in the reverse cut. But apparently George from Valley Hybrids was also on the lookout for some gear sets.
Okay.
And we both found gear sets at the same place.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so West Coast Diffs in Rancho Cordova.
Right.
They had them in stock, no problem. And I was already up the hill, so I let George pick them up on his way through rather than me turning around having to go back and get them. Okay. So George came up with the gear sets, and Jeb and his dad rebuilt the ring and pinion for this 8-inch high pinion there at Rubicon Springs in camp.
Wow, that's awesome.
Without a press, without a micrometer, without an inch pounds.
All right.
Measuring device.
Did it make it out?
As far as I know, it made it out just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have that checked.
Yeah, definitely.
I believe they could put it together fine, but it might not be the spec.
Oh, it's definitely not. I don't know about definitely not. The guy said that he's done a lot of diffs, but yeah, the guy said, don't trust that this is in spec. Take it to a shop and
have them rebuild it.
Or get a new one. Yeah. But it was very impressive to hear that they actually got that done and got the rig back up and running with 4-wheel drive out on a trail.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've done a few ring and pinions now over the past year or so in Toyota 8-inch third members. And every time I do one, I'm like, how the hell would you do this on a trail?
Right.
And these guys did it.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, apparently.
I was going to say, though, can't you run a low pinion? Like, couldn't you have found just a standard 488 diff and thrown it in there?
Could have.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. It was an e-locker, though. So that needed the e-locker housing. I mean, it could have gone in there and just gone slow out and had a hole in the housing.
Yeah.
But they got it up and running, and kudos to them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In order to get the pinion bearing on,
right,
they put the pinion into a freezer, like an ARB fridge that they set to freeze like 5 degrees overnight.
Yeah.
And then they boiled the bearing.
Okay.
And so when they were ready to put them together, they took the bearing out and the pinion out and put them together and hammered them on with a punch. Or like a punch.
A brass punch or something.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right?
May shrink one and make one a little larger, and hopefully you can get it to where it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, that was entertaining to hear about, and watching them. I kind of walked by when they were getting ready, and I was like, good luck.
So was that on Friday?
They did that, I believe, on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you end up doing on Friday?
Friday, nobody really wanted to go to the Granite Loop.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to kind of hang out and go on a hike or do other stuff. So Lee and I decided to make our way down trail and just see how far we got. So the goal was to go do the Granite Loop, but if we didn't make it to Buck Island before noon, then we weren't going to go do the Granite Loop and try to make it back.
Yeah, sure. Is that when I saw the picture of the white whale, like high centered on probably another rock that's now going to be named Lee's Rock?
That's the beached white whale.
Beached whale. Yes.
That's beached whale rock now. Now that big sluice is tore up right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And property line is not too bad. It was just that one of the big rocks in property line got moved to the middle of the trail.
Oh, okay.
Where it used to be kind of on the side of the trail. It just created a little squeeze point, and somebody moved it and rolled it or whatever into the middle of the trail. So we moved it back to its original place.
By the beaching of the whale?
No. This was in property line.
Oh.
That rock that got beached on was up at the top of Big Sluice at the hairpin turn.
Okay. Yeah. I know the rock.
Yeah. And so we moved that rock in property line back to its original spot because they all had to winch through it. And then while we were there, we watched 3 rigs winch through it.
Got it.
So we're like, that rock is just, somebody moved it.
Yeah.
Let's move it back to where it was. And so we moved it back to where it was, and property line is the same as it's always been now.
There you go. Was that one down by the corner?
No, it's kind of like in the middle where the ledge was, where you were trying to go up and you just were sliding, your ass end was over too far.
Yes.
It was right there. There's a big rock as you're coming up on the passenger side.
Okay.
That was like in the middle of that ledge now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so we did that, got through Big Sluice, got through property line, got through all the fun things, and I made it to Buck Island around 1 o'clock.
Okay. Not enough time.
Not enough time to go do the Granite Loop.
What did Delta Dave do during all this time? Just hang out at camp?
Yeah, he hung out at camp.
Okay.
Yeah. But on the way at the Martini Tree
Yeah.
is where I ran into Derek
Oh.
and Chris Paul
Yeah, yeah.
and all those guys.
They had a hell of a group.
They had a
They had,
bitchin'
and
group.
Clint.
Clint and Kyle.
And
yeah.
Kyle
Yeah.
and Chris Paul and his highly modified H3 Hummer.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and Derek from the Total Off-Road podcast,
Mm-hmm.
which was his first time out on the trail, so
Yep.
that was fun to hear. And then they had, you saw them when they were on their way back?
I saw them as they were heading out to observation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So they still had the Bronco with them and some other guys.
Yeah, Kyle and Clint actually passed us with the Bronco in Big Sluice, at the top of Big Sluice.
Oh.
So that kind of straightaway as you're coming down into the Big Sluice Canyon, that's where Kyle and Clint passed us. So I got to say hi to them for a hot minute.
Where'd you pull off at? That rocky ledge?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so we saw them there, and then I saw Derek and Chris and the rest of their crew at the Martini Tree.
Cool.
At the top there.
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun. I was coming around the corner into that big clearing.
Yeah.
As he was coming around the corner into the big clearing, Derek, and I saw the Chevy, the full-size Chevy, and I immediately stopped and threw my hand out the window and waved like a crazy person, and then pulled up into the clearing and got out, and it was fun. So I got to see and talk with them for a little bit.
That's cool. I'm a little jealous. It would be fun to meet Derek. He's all my listening to the Total Off-Road podcast. He seems like a really good dude.
He's a really good dude. He's shorter than I had anticipated, though.
Shorter than me?
I think so.
Whoa.
I think he might be shorter than you.
He really has Napoleon syndrome if he's driving a full size.
Yes. We'll have to get you two to do a back-to-back
All right.
KOH
We'll
or
have
something.
a battle,
this year.
with Kevin Jones.
Yeah. Right. And Samurai James.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, I got to run into those guys, hung out for 15, 20 minutes chatting with them and just having a good time, seeing how life was.
No wonder you didn't get to Buck until noon or 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Or 1 p.m., excuse me. Yeah.
Pretty much. And then we got to Buck, and instead of going all the way to the dam, we pulled into the campsite that we used for the snail trail run.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Pulled in there and had lunch there. I went, knee deep, waist deep, roughly into the water, wading around and just kind of cooling off. And then we headed on back.
Did you have to straighten a tie rod at that point too?
No.
Not like last time?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Lee put the angle iron on his lower control arms though for the rear.
Yeah.
Because he used those a lot.
Does he still have my high lift jack handle?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's on there.
It's still there?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm pretty sure it's there.
It's stronger than it's ever been.
It is 100%. So we headed back into the springs, got into the springs right around 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Roughly.
Did you run into any other traffic? Like, because participants and people are coming in at that same time.
We ran into a lot of traffic as we were heading to Buck.
Yes.
So there was the breakfast run coming in, a couple renegade runs. So we just pulled off to the side and let the run traffic have the right of way.
Yeah, sure.
And that's another reason why it took us so long to get to Buck.
Makes sense.
But I got in there. We didn't see too much traffic at all on the way back though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Got in there, had lunch. Dimitri made lunch dinner.
Oh.
Dinner Friday night. Dinner Friday night. Dimitri made it, and it was a soup. It was a chicken stock and half broth that had some spice to it with potatoes, kale, and sausage.
Interesting.
It was really freaking good.
Could you eat it?
Yeah.
Oh, even though it had some spice to it?
It was a little bit. It wasn't enough. It was just enough to be there. Some people added spice to theirs. And I was
be like, this is mild.
Yeah, it was. You wouldn't have even tasted spice at all.
Okay, cool. Well, good. That's really nice, Dimitri.
Yeah, it was really tasty too. He just made it boiling hot. So like you're trying to sit there and eat it. You're like, I want to eat it because it's so good, but you can't because it's hot.
Yeah. And what was the temperature like that day? I mean, was it hot also? Because
it was perfect temperature, mid 70s.
Oh, wow.
The entire weekend.
Yeah, because I hate having a hot soup on a hot day.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it might have gotten up to 80 on Saturday.
Oh man, that's absolutely gorgeous.
It was the perfect temperature weekend out there.
Cool.
Yeah, unlike the last time we went to the Rubicon when it hailed
on us. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was random and fun.
Yeah, Friday night was good. We hung out around the campfire for a little bit, and then the bar opened up.
Ooh,
and the camp emptied.
Yes.
And Steve was already drunk before going down to the bar.
Oh, man. Did you guys do any whiskey tasting?
A little bit. Steve brought some tequila. That was amazing.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, which is different for Steve. He's usually always into his whiskeys and bourbons. But he had a really great set of tequila.
Okay.
And then also some whiskeys, too, to chase
the tequila with?
Chase the tequila, yeah.
Yeah. Smart. That's the best way to do it.
Right. I was tired from the day. I ended up working quite a bit.
Helping Lee.
Winching with Lee.
What were you winching?
Lee.
Okay.
Running cable for Lee and setting up rigging.
I was like, your rig looks great. Like, why do you didn't need to winch?
Nope. I did not need to winch. It worked awesome the whole way through. There's one spot in Big Sluice that there's just a diff rock that's in the middle now, and it got moved a little bit down trail. So you used to be able to kind of like straddle the wall and the rock in the middle to get up.
Is it that squeeze point?
Yeah, it's like the second squeeze point as you're going down.
Yeah. Where you have to, if you're going down, you drive higher passenger so you get over the diff rock.
Yep. Couldn't do that. The diff rock was 2 feet further down trail.
Oh, dang.
So you couldn't get high on the wall enough to
Did
get
you
over
even fit between those rocks?
No, I had to go way high on the wall. But I'm so wide and stable that going high on the wall didn't matter anymore.
True.
So I went high on the wall, and still I kept getting hung up. And finally I went really high on the wall, and it still felt stable, but it was like, I didn't think I would ever go on that wall that high up in order to get over.
Is that where one of the photos was? I saw a bunch of photos.
No,
okay.
I don't think we had any photos up on that wall.
Okay.
I did come through the Hussman buggy line.
Oh, did you?
At the decision tree. I came through there instead of
the way
doing,
I went?
Yep.
Okay.
And that was, so going to Buck.
Wait, so you went to the left of where the tree would have been?
Correct.
Not the hard right.
The drop
on the right at the big rock. Okay.
No,
so where the tree used to be, you went to the left of that.
Correct.
Yes.
On the way up to Buck, I did take the squeeze. So I had to go really high up on the passenger side on that. And then after that, I was like feeling good coming back to the Springs from everything that I had done with the rig. And now it just held up and did everything I ever asked of it. I decided to take that left line to come down and through there and see how it would articulate and get through there. And I thought I was in double low, but apparently I just had the 2.28 in and not the 4.7 as I was trying to go through there. So it like jumped a little bit and got offline of the line I was trying to be on. And so when I came off of that rock, I really came off of the rock. And
on the front end or your rear?
On my slider.
Oh, okay.
And so I bent to
your
the slider.
Your front dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And the bigger drop's on the driver's side of that rock.
That's the one I dropped on. Yeah.
And so you bent your slider on your driver's side slider?
Yeah. It went up into the door pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
And I couldn't really open the door.
Oh no. It doesn't look any more dented.
No, thanks to Steve and Dave.
Okay.
So once we got back into camp, I was opening my door and I would just hear this metal on metal grinding between my door and my slider. And that was going on all evening Friday and then Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, Steve has a big old pry bar. So he brought that over and like put it in there and tried to hang off it. It was bouncing up and down. It wasn't doing a whole lot. And then Delta Dave grabbed his high lift off his FJ80, the Cummins 80, and put it in the slider. And both of them were hanging from their prying devices and bouncing on the side of the rig on the slider to get it to bend back into shape and clear the door.
Oh, wow.
So there's a great picture of Delta Dave and Steve hanging off the side of the 4Runner on prying devices.
Yeah, that's funny.
So
now you can open the door, no problems?
Yeah, it's no problem.
Cool. Yeah, it's a big drop.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it was that big.
You didn't hit the rear end, though, dropping off that?
No, I purposefully, as I came off of there, because of how hard I hit the slider, I turned passenger and tried to come out further so that my rear end dropped off the shallower side of the road.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because whenever I do that line, I always tag one of the corners of my bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really worried about that coming down because I don't have a rear bumper.
Yeah, you didn't have a bumper.
Yeah.
You still don't have a bumper.
Nope.
You got to get that fixed.
Yeah, I do. Hopefully tonight. We'll see.
All right.
Let's see. What else? So got back into camp, had dinner. Everybody went to the bar. Steve was already pretty inebriated.
2 sheets.
And I was tired. So I was like, I'm just going to go lay down for a couple minutes. I didn't get back up when I laid down. But while I was laying down there, I think it was Scott and somebody else went to say bye to Steve as he went down to the bar. And as Scott and the other person were coming back, I just hear Scott go, "Man, I really hope he makes it back to camp tonight." So
Steve's a professional.
He is a professional. He made it back to camp just fine.
Yep, and I'm sure he was the first one awake in the morning and probably cooked everybody breakfast again.
No, I was breakfast Saturday morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. So bar went great, though, from everything I heard. Shut down around midnight, and people made it back to camp.
Nice.
So Saturday morning was just kind of the lounge around the Springs day.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So I had breakfast burritos for everybody.
Nice.
And coffee. And so we got a coffee and breakfast danishes.
Ooh, what kind of coffee?
It was, I think I just had the cold brew, the concentrate. So
boring.
I'm lazy coffee. That's why I make breakfast burritos. So I don't have to do anything. Just heat them up and give them to people.
Right. Yeah. What'd you do? Is just throw all 20 of them in your engine bay and run your truck for a while?
Pretty much. Steve had a big old scuttle. So I just laid him out all over the scuttle and flipped him over.
Oh.
Yeah, I kept
Are we
flipping
call him
him
Scottle Steve?
Could. Yeah. We totally could.
Okay.
Yeah, Scottle Steve is new name.
New name. No longer Power Tank Steve. Now it's Scottle Steve.
Yep.
Okay.
So Saturday, great day, just lounging around. I had the Starlink in the Springs, Starlink, which was great because it allowed the event to find spare parts easier for people.
Okay.
And coordinate getting spare parts into the trail.
Nice.
Then Ozzy had his Starlink in our camp.
Okay.
So we had internet back at our camp and in the Springs as well. I had my rig sitting in the Springs pretty much all day. And there was always somebody stopping, kneeling down to look at the axles, check out the suspension, and just kind of look at it.
Right.
Which was fun. I got to fix Mike Chakowski's truck, his Tacoma.
What was wrong with it?
He sliced a tire.
Oh.
So we got to play with glue treads.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I got to fix Big Mike's truck.
That's that needs to go on a shirt.
I know. I'll do that later.
Only you are allowed to wear it.
I'll put it on my resume for my next job.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll put a bumper sticker on Kermit here saying Chakowski repair vehicle.
Perfect. That'd be awesome. I'm totally going to make one now and send it to him as a picture. Look what I did. No, he had a really cool device, though, that I'd never seen before.
What, another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a collapsible stool. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so he pulled it out and he goes, "Here, sit on this." Because I was kneeling in the dirt, and he pulled it out and was like, it's collapsed. So it just looks like this giant puck.
Yes.
And I was like, "What is this?" And he goes, "Here," and just telescoped it out, popped it out to be this stool. And I was like, "Oh, that's badass."
Yeah. How much weight can it hold?
I don't know. I didn't look for a weight limit, but
a Tyler amount.
Yeah, Tyler
at
for
least.
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Cool.
it packs down super small, and it packs up pretty big for a stool.
Yeah, it expands pretty tall.
The telescoping, yeah.
You liked it so much it looks like you ended up buying one because you threw one at me this morning. And it took me a hot second to figure out how to open it, but eventually I did, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So I've seen it. And it's in the Morphlite colors.
Black and neon green. Yep. And it was on Amazon, like $20.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I got to learn about that while I was working on his truck. I got to talk with Christine for quite a while.
Oh, good.
Which was nice. She's in a little bit better spirits.
Good. Glad to hear. I mean, I can't imagine losing a significant other. So,
right.
I mean, I'm happy to hear that she's progressing.
Yes. Yeah. So they're getting to hang out with them for Saturday morning a little bit. It was nice. I ran into Mike a few times on the trail on Friday.
Oh yeah.
So he was working on repairing an XJ, and I pulled up and I was like, "Mike, can I help you with anything?" He goes, "I think I actually just finished." I was like, "Perfect timing then."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, getting to hang out and see Mike was fun, and Christine.
He's still rocking. He's probably changing his tires now, but he had those Maxxis tires.
What does he have now? Did
he just get new ones?
I think he just got new ones.
He just sliced a new one?
Pretty much, yeah. He's not super happy with the new ones, and so he was asking me about the Yokohamas.
He asked me about the Yokohamas at Trek.
Yep.
And when he at Trek, he had the Maxxis tires.
Ah, okay. Maybe he did stop the Max.
I think they were the ones like you used to have on Kermit. Back in the day. The
creepy crawlers.
Yeah.
And I didn't pay attention to which tires he was running.
Yeah. So he asked me about the Yokohamas as well.
Yep. Yeah. He was asking about him, and I was like, I love him. I absolutely love him. So, and he's a big Japan fan.
Right. Yeah.
So he's like, I think I may just be going with him. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try and get him connected with Yokohama and see what kind of business they can bring up together.
Sure.
So
yeah. I'm going to say this bluntly.
Mhm.
By us really saying that we love them, it's not because we're sponsored by them.
It's really not. No.
We actually legitimately
Yes.
love these tires.
I do. I really do. Yeah. It's Ozzy has the 40-inch Yokohamas on the Jeep now, the JL. And he goes, these things are amazing. They drive super clean at 80 miles an hour, very little road noise. He said he had a couple of spots where he typically gets traction. And I was like, man, he didn't with these tires. I was like, yeah, but you're running stickies on your buggy. Like,
Yeah.
and they're brand new. They're brand new. You got to wear them in a little bit here.
That's apples and oranges right there.
Exactly. Awesome tires.
Mine aren't even balanced. I know he threw balance beads in
I thought
them.
I had balancing beads in mine. Apparently, I haven't had any in there at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they run just fine at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah,
on the freeway.
mine cruise great.
Yeah.
With not being balanced, and they have the rings on the inside, the inflatable rings set up, the inner
V-locks.
airlock.
Yeah.
Set up.
So Saturday,
All right, Saturday, just lounge it around. Did you go swimming at the springs at all? Did you go find an otter?
went swimming at the springs in the afternoon before dinner because Delta Dave wanted to get out of there before dinner in the raffle. He needed to get out, and I guess he was driving back to Idaho or Utah, so one of those two.
Yeah.
So he wanted to get out and go camp or sleep somewhere in Reno or Incline Village, somewhere around there. So we left right before dinner, and I gave all my dinner tickets to Nick and Lisa.
Okay.
And they were going to grab my dinner for me and have it for me when I get back. And so we started out of camp, and I let Lee drive, and I was riding passenger.
Lee drove Bullfrog?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And Delta Dave followed us, and Delta Dave ended up in three-wheel drive within about 10 minutes of leaving camp.
Oh, no.
So we turned around, went back to camp, parked the rigs, went and got some food, and then came back. As they started the raffle, we came back and worked on Dave's Cummins 80.
What happened?
We thought that he had broken a shaft, a rear axle shaft. Turns out he sheared all the studs off of the drive flange for the axle shaft.
Wow.
Yeah. So sheared them all off, and that's it wasn't turning anymore when you turn the third member. It wasn't turning the wheel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so but that's all at like the hub on the exterior of the wheel.
Yeah.
So could you throw a slug in there or anything?
No, because the way that the FJ80 rear axle works is it has the drive flange bolts or nuts onto studs that are on the hub of your wheel.
Okay.
Right.
So he sheared all those.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like he sheared his hub.
Pretty much, yeah. And Nick had replacement studs with him.
Wow.
So Nick got those, and Nick and Lee replaced the studs in the rear axle there, got him back up and running, went and gave the spare axle shaft back to the nice participant who gave it to Dave as a here you go, pay me when you get off the trail.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
So Dave went and gave that back, and then we headed on up Cadillac.
Oh, you went up that night.
Yeah, we headed up and out still that night.
Wow.
So
okay.
Went up Cadillac. I drove this time up and out. Dave followed. Dave had no more issues after that, and he killed Cadillac for not being a rock crawler and never have really done rock crawling before. Dave did a phenomenal job.
Cool.
Like, he's really good at picking lines.
Yeah.
I was watching my reviews for a while, and I was like, he's going all the right places. He's doing all the right things. He's a really good driver. So I started picking up pace going up Cadillac, and he stayed right on my ass the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was impressive.
Those 80s are smooth.
They work. They really, and he's on 37s.
Okay. Yeah.
So he wasn't getting hung up like Lee was.
Sure. So Lee needs to go to 37s.
That's exactly the conclusion we've come to for Lee after this trip.
All right.
Yes, he needs to go to 37s to 40s, somewhere in that range.
Right. What's Nick's rig on?
Nick is on, I think, 38s.
Okay.
Yeah, the 38 Patagonias. So anyways, got up to the observation pretty much at sunset, like at the last little 5-10 minutes of sunset.
Cool.
with Delta Dave. And so we hung out up there. We got to watch a lightning storm off in the distance.
Oh, wow.
We got to watch the Starlink satellites go over us, which was pretty cool.
That's
I hadn't seen that
always
before.
weird. You haven't?
No.
A line of stars moving in the sky.
Perfectly straight line of 12 stars, 15,
Freaks
whatever it is.
everybody out if you have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
I think I told you the story when the assistant messaged me and said the aliens are coming or something. It's like this line of stars, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the Starlink satellites.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really bizarre looking, though.
It's super bizarre. I'd never seen it before, so that was cool. And then hung out there and told Dave how to get out of there and get up to Incline Village or Reno, whichever one he wanted to end up stopping at, and said bye to him. We hung out at observation 45 minutes or so, said bye to him, and then Lee and I headed back down Cadallic in Bullfrog.
Yep.
And made it back into camp, and I pretty much went over to the fire and had some cold wieners. They had like little Vienna sausages that they were putting on skewers and cooking over the fire.
That's funny.
But I was too far away from the fire to put effort into cooking mine.
Okay, so you just were sitting there. Yeah.
I just popped them out of the bag and ate them. And then everybody kind of scattered and went to bed after that.
Yeah. The bar's not open that night.
Not on Saturday night, yeah. So I ended up in bed around 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that.
Okay.
And then we had a couple of visitors that night.
I heard, yeah.
You heard about our visitors?
I saw a photo from Dimitri.
Gotcha. So I don't know if that was one of the bears that came into our camp.
Okay.
We had one bear that was pitch black, dark black bear that was in our camp around midnight to 1 a.m.
Sure.
And it was
there for an hour?
about an hour, yeah.
Wow.
So it was going back and forth between Cinna's car and the kitchen area where we had the table with all the food on it.
Yeah.
And it had all the snacks, right? So there was cookies, brownies, the breakfast danishes, all sorts of stuff, loaves of bread, chips. We're up on that. And that table was less than a foot from Dimitri's tent.
Okay.
Dimitri and Rob apparently never once said anything to the bear. Never spoke, never peeped a word, nothing.
Oh, they probably shat their sleeping bags.
They said they were absolutely terrified. And Rob was like, what do we do? And Dimitri said, just lay there and shut up. As this bear is snacking down a foot from their tent.
I'll tell you, like, I've been there to some extent, and when the bear's that close and it has this very distinct breathing noise. Yeah, it has big nostrils.
Yes.
And it's right there munching next to your tent. Yeah, I'd probably sit there and do nothing too.
Really?
Play dead.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So at some point, sometime between midnight and 1, the bear came over to my tent.
Yeah.
And did a couple laps around my tent.
Sure.
And so I could hear the breathing. Just that. Like you said, it's a very distinct breathing noise. And I had
almost Darth Vader.
Yeah. And so finally it got one time around the tent and then stopped. I had a little trash box right outside my door to my tent.
Sure.
That I could tell he stopped at and was pushing his nose through. And so finally I was like, I don't want you around here. So I was like, hey bear, get out of here, man. And kind of hit the side of the tent. And that was all I heard from him.
He scattered
off. I think what happened was there's a new cabin right there for California State Parks.
Oh.
So California State Parks, since they do a lot of grant funding to fund OHV access and OHV parks and other things around the state of California, they just had legislation passed that California State Parks can send their rangers in to patrol areas that they've given grant money to.
Interesting.
So the Rubicon gets ongoing grant money. So now the Rangers have a cabin, California State Parks cabin in the Springs that California State Parks, along with El Dorado County Sheriff and Placer County Sheriff, all get to patrol the trail now.
Okay.
So
it's good, I guess.
It's good. I think more law enforcement out there is just a good thing. It keeps people honest out there. It keeps people from doing stupid shit. It keeps people wearing their seatbelts.
Yep.
It keeps people safer.
Sure.
So,
and in all reality, it keeps our trail.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So Cameron was out there. He's one of the California State Parks Rangers.
Okay.
and he's a listener of the podcast.
Oh, cool.
He was actually down at KOH. He introduced himself to me down at KOH one night when we were doing the Fisher night run with the listeners.
I wasn't there.
You were not. But I was driving by all of the law enforcement down at KOH.
Right, down there in their like bunker or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever their little space is there. And I was asking somebody about the BLM battery equipment that was up on top of Fisher, if they knew that it was up there. And that's when Cameron came over and he goes, "You're Tyler, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he introduced, and so I saw him again this weekend out on the Rubicon, which was a lot of fun. But anyways, when I think I scared the bear away, it went up to their cabin and got into their trash.
Oh, no.
So his partner, Mike, got up in the middle of the night and threw a couple rocks at the bear, and it scattered up the hill.
Okay.
Ran off.
Yeah.
And then,
I know that, I mean, what was it? A week before, Nate and Kelly, Dirt Lifestyle Nate and Muddy Beards Kelly said that they had bears in camp. They had bears they camped at Airport Flats the first night, and they had bears.
Yeah.
No, at Buck. They camped at Buck. And I think they camped from the video that I watched, I think they camped right after Tree Line.
Okay.
And they had bears there also.
The bears have been thick this year.
Yeah.
They've been not aggressive, but they've been, you leave anything out this year and they're there that night. So there's been multiple reports.
They had a late start.
I think it's because of the long winter. Yeah. So anyways, we had that black bear, dark black, rich black fur, big bear. Its butt end was 2.5, 3 feet wide.
You looked at its ass.
I did. Yeah. As I was running away.
Okay.
Well, no, Mike did technically. I didn't see that one. I saw his shadow because I was looking to try and figure out who is running around back and forth between Cinna's vehicle and the kitchen making a ton of noise.
Yeah.
I was like, if it was a bear, I figured somebody would have yelled by now to scare it off. So I was like, it's a person. It has to be a person. And that's when I saw the black shadow go across. And I was like, oh, that's a big bear.
Yeah.
Okay. Later in the evening, in the night, around 3 a.m., 3:30, I got woken up by this.
That's really what it sounds like. Yeah.
Less than 5 feet from my tent.
Oh.
And I'm like, God, he's back eating something right next to my tent.
He's trying to lick your head through
Pretty
your
much,
tent.
probably. So I opened up the window in my tent and stuck the flashlight up there in my face up against the little mesh window. And within 5 feet of me, there's a brown bear.
Oh.
It's a black bear, but brown fur.
Yeah.
About the same size as the first bear, which is pretty big. And he just snaps, looks right at me, and we just lock eyes. And I was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here." Like, that's all I could do really quick.
And then did he run over to Ozzy's tent?
He didn't run at all. He just kind of like looked away from me, got up, left his loaf of bread there in the wrapper, and then just meandered back over to the kitchen. Then I heard him start taking stuff off of the table in the kitchen. I was like, good, he's Dimitri's problem now.
Yeah, he knew you were a pussy.
Exactly.
He's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, like
I'm 600 pounds of bear.
Exactly. No, it was so like the first bear, when he was coming around and doing laps around the tent.
Yeah.
I was scared shitless. I was like, there's a fucking bear right outside my tent.
Yeah.
This one, after we snapped and like I shit my pants, and then he just kind of like meandered off, like he didn't care what I was doing. He was just like, yeah, whatever. I'll just go over here. I was like, they really are just big pussies, and they just
kind of.
You just kind of say something.
But he also didn't care. That guy didn't run away.
He didn't care, but like he didn't do anything. He was just like, okay, whatever.
So it's just a stupid human. I'm gonna keep eating.
Exactly. That's all he did. So yeah, they're not aggressive towards humans. They're not, and I was coming
food out on a table,
right? And I was coming in between it and its food it was currently eating.
Yeah,
and it still got up and left.
Yeah.
So
just don't get between it and a baby.
Yes, that was bad. Yeah, don't do that.
That's bad news.
So that I didn't sleep very much at all Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm listening to all the noise and commotion going around. I'm like, can somebody else yell at these bears, please?
I'm the same
Nobody
way.
else did.
At times as soon as I hear a bear, I don't sleep the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Because then any crack, any rustle in the leaves, any noise, I'm like, oh, it's back.
Yep.
I got to defend my territory.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm up in this rooftop tent. I can't wait for one to cuddle with me.
Yeah, come up to the ladder with you. Yeah. So that was my first up close and personal bear experience ever. Yeah. I've always seen them from at least 100, 150, 200 feet away.
Okay.
I've never seen one that close.
One was up close.
That one was locking eyes with a bear at 5 feet is that'll get your blood going quick.
I remember there was a time with Hustle Nuts and Dave and some other friends when we were camped at Buck, and the bears, 2 black bears, were getting into our camp.
Mm-hmm.
And the first night, it was like we just weren't prepared. We'd never have had a bear out there in our lives, haven't had any issues. Heard there's bears around, but we're kind of like one of those things like, meh.
Until you experience it, you're like, it's not going to get me.
You know, and then the second night when the bears came back, we were prepared. But they still were trying to get in through everything. I've told the story before where the bears reached around my drive shaft and was trying to pull the cooler
from under the rig.
Hussman's, I think it was a Yeti. No, it was a Coleman. And then he bought a Yeti, I think. It was trying to pull it through the drive shaft and just couldn't. You heard the bear going, just getting pissed that it couldn't. But there was a time when I hopped out. The first night I hopped out to try to scare this bear away. I was in like a Jeep that didn't have its top on or something. I'm like slapping my hands at it and yelling. And it like turned and looked at me and I was like, oh, fuck. And I turned around and like all my friends were behind me and they all had their guns drawn.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, hopefully they're good shots.
Yeah. I even went to bed that night and I left the pistol in the 4Runner.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I crawled into bed, I was like, I should probably keep my pistol on me just in case. And so I got up out of bed, grabbed the pistol out of the 4Runner and brought it back into the tent with me and ended up having the bear encounter that night. And I never pulled it out of the holster or anything.
Sure.
Just saying, hey, bear was enough.
Yeah, usually.
They just kind of sauntered off. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That particular trip that I was talking about, we would go, hey, bear, and it would run off and it would go to the next camp. And you'd hear them go, hey, bear, and you'd run off and go to the next camp and then next camp further down. And then eventually you heard it coming back the camp before, and then the camp right next to us, and then our camp, and then the camp up from us, and it was like you could just hear this progression. And then the second night, we heard the air horns go off at the far camp, and we're like, okay, here comes the bear again.
Working his way down.
Yeah. But that time we hung food and threw the coolers underneath the rigs and stuff. And
yeah, luckily out on the Rubicon, luckily, I guess, they're very accustomed to people.
Yeah.
So they're very accustomed that people are not going to be harming them. They just are looking for the easy food.
Yes.
So if you just make it difficult and make yourself well known that you're there and you're not going to let them get to the easy food, they'll move on to the next camp.
Yeah. I do remember a story from that same trip where when the bear was walking through camp, we were all flashing our lights at it. And there was this couple sleeping in this tent and the bear shadow was illuminated on their tent. And it, because of just, how shadows work when you hit the bear and it gets the shadow gets larger further away. The bear was like 12 feet tall, like 15 feet long or whatever. And they're like, that's a huge bear.
It was only 2 feet tall.
Yeah, it was this little baby thing. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah. They were like freaking out because it was so massive.
Yeah. So anyways, a fun bear encounter. And I definitely was scared to hell out because of it. And then after the whole thing in the morning, I was like, it's really not that big of a deal. Just make noise and they go away.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So
either
that was
go
fun.
away or come at you.
Yeah, one or the other. You'll
50,
find out.
50, yeah.
It's more like 90-10, but
probably
95-5 maybe.
The choice is 50.
Yeah, true. But anyways, so that was fun. We all compared notes about the bear in the morning, and I was like, Dimitri, why didn't you guys say anything? It's eating the buffet right next to your tent. And Rob goes, I know. It's the worst sound I've ever heard.
They're just eating this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had that bear a month or so ago when we went camping up at Shasta. Mm-hmm. And it was just munching these salted almonds that we had. And that's that time that all the whiskey, the Bear Republic whiskey that we had that bear, slobber all over it. And you could just hear it. Like every noise that a bear makes is a very distinct noise. Mm-hmm, and once you hear it, you never forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sunday morning, the people going back out loon had an early start. They were wheels up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us going out Cadillac were wheels up about 7:30.
Okay.
And made it up Cadillac and stopped at observation for about an hour. And had some breakfast burritos, took some pictures, got to talk to other people that were up there. Schaefer's Offroad was up there.
Oh, cool.
A couple other Land Cruiser people were up there that Lee knew. And then we headed on out from there. and made it back to Tahoma just fine, no issues whatsoever, and then made it out to Sonny's Barbecue for lunch.
Ooh, very nice.
Yes, my Sonny's Barbecue.
Did you drive the 4Runner there, or did you throw it on?
Threw it on the trailer.
Threw it on the trailer and then drove down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was a great trip. I'm super, super happy with how the 4Runner performed. I had reservations about wheeling in by myself with an untested vehicle.
Well, sure. That makes sense.
And afterwards, it's good to go, man.
Awesome.
The rig is set. It's so nice to wheel around on, drive in, whatever. It's doing really well.
Cool.
So
good.
Yeah, it's a fun trip. Great break-in trip for the 4Runner. I don't think there's really anything that needs to be changed about the suspension and axles. It's just tidying up stuff, finishing up some of the wiring, getting the winch wired, and then going back and making sure all the jam nuts are still tight.
Yep.
So I did find a couple that were loose. I lost a lug nut, which I've replaced already, but I did lose a lug nut on one of them. But that's why I have 7 more now.
No, there you go. Yeah.
That's it, man. It was a fun weekend.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
I was a little sad that I couldn't go. I wish I could have been there.
Everybody missed you out there.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun. It's a fantastic event.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. It goes to a great cause.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a very fun, the mini assistant had a very fun sleepover with her friends.
Nice. That's good then.
Yeah. And I needed to be there for family obligations and reasons, but I really did need to be there because I had to drive. The kids can't sit in the front seat, and there's not enough seats in the car, for a bunch of kids. So, I had to be one of the drivers.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. We went out to Sunsplash.
Nice.
And we pretty much bought the tickets that allowed us to do almost everything out there.
Oh, cool.
And we went and did the go-karts, and you have to be 4'10" to drive the go-karts. And 2 of the girls were tall enough, and then the other 2 girls were not tall enough.
Oh.
And so some of the girls, it was their very first driving experience.
Oh, that's
right?
fun.
They were like, I don't want to drive.
Were
This
you
is
tall
scary.
enough?
I was barely made it. I just tippy toes a little bit, They didn't notice, though. Yeah. No, so I had the mini assistant with me because she knows I'm a crazy driver, and she, wanted to have some fun. And then this assistant took another friend with them, and then 2 of the other girls drove. And I told the other girls, I'm like, look, if you don't want to go 100 miles an hour, or as fast as these carts can go, which isn't that fast, stay on the outside of every corner.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Right? You're going to be slow. People going fast are going to want to take the inside of the corners.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay out of their way if you're going slow, so stay to the outside. They did that and they were fine. Nice. I don't think they caused any accidents by just crossing or whatever. But they both came back and they're like, well, I want to do that again. That was fun. Nice. So yeah, they enjoyed that. It was some of the kids' first time ever doing laser tag.
Oh,
that was
cool.
fun. I think it was some of the girls' first time ever doing miniature golf.
Really?
Yeah. So that was like, wow. They've all done the bumper cars before. And then we went to In-N-Out because you can walk to In-N-Out from there for dinner. And it was one of the girls' first times ever being to In-N-Out.
Wow.
Yeah.
You broke all these first time things, man.
It was pretty wild. So all the girls had a good time. It was fun being there. They can go 100 miles an hour for a really long time. I would have been dead. But luckily we gave everybody melatonin at the end of the night. And they went to bed about 11. So
perfect.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun being there for the sleepover, a good sleepover for the mini assistant. It was a lot of work and corralling the cats a lot.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a lot of fun.
Wasn't like swinging dead cats across a yard?
No, it's not nothing like that. So, but I would have had fun up at Rubithon also. So.
Yeah. I think you had a good weekend either way.
I did. Yep. I did catch the cold from that weekend though.
Wow. Well, cool, man. Fun weekend, fun stuff going on all around.
Yeah.
Some more fun trips coming up. We'll see if I make it through the Barrett Lake Gate.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear about that.
I'm bringing a tub of KY jelly with me. So
for what purpose?
Because Hussman's my passenger.
Oh.
No, because just going to lube up my tires and get through the gate.
Yeah. Is Hussman your passenger?
He is, yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm excited for that.
That'll be a fun trip.
Is it you're going with your club, right?
No, my club is actually going to the Rubicon.
Oh,
They're doing their annual full Rubicon trip, and everything I've done this year wheeling wise has been on the Rubicon so far.
sure.
And Dolly and the Hannahs are going to Barrett Lake.
Okay.
So I got an invite to go with the Samurai group over to Barrett Lake, and I was like, I haven't been to Barrett yet. I need to see if I fit through the gate.
Yep.
And that's a really fun crew to go wheeling with.
Absolutely.
So,
are you going to trailer up there? Or are you going to drive it?
I want to drive it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still doing the gear break in right now. So I need to get those 500 miles in. So I'm thinking about driving up to Barrett.
Okay.
Just because trailer logistics at Barrett are not fun.
No.
It's hard to find parking.
That's you park. I usually park before you even get to Wrights Lake.
Oh, wow.
Off on the side of the road.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. We'll see if I make it through the gate. If not, then I'll be out on the Rubicon with the Mad Hatters.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll go catch up to everybody.
That'll be interesting. We'll hear more about that on Thursday. We'll also have some interviews from this
Media Summit,
Overland Media Summit, or whatever it's called, that we're going to this next week. And yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff planned for everybody coming up.
Yep, a lot of cool stuff. So if you guys want to get a hold of us, you have any feedback for us, you can do that at 916-345-4744. That's the voicemail hotline. If you want to leave us an email, you can do that, Tyler or Jimmy at snailtrail4x4.com. And there's always the Instagram, the IG Land Snail Trail 4x4 or 4x4 Toyota Tyler. Remember to get those orders in for the Moose Knuckles. Whatever you're looking to get there, we're giving everybody through the end of September to get your order in. If I haven't replied to you, no problem. I have the email in my inbox. We'll look at getting everybody's payments and get everything coordinated after the cutoff.
Sounds good. Yep.
Yeah. Jimmy, final words for everybody out there?
I think if we keep letting Lee go with us out on the Rubicon, that whole entire trail is going to have White Whale or Lee Rocks stamped all over.
I love it. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Ready.
What do you call somebody with no body and no nose?
Nobody knows.
Nice. Nobody knows.